version 3, they added the career mode, um, which is pretty much you can try to play a life of a pilot throughout Eastern Front up to Kuban, because you may want to start in Moscow 1941 autumn and try to, well, make your career throughout the three campaigns, and I find it extremely enticing, given the depth that is added. You have Dead is Dead option and all that, so there's also the option for play with your buddies in cooperative mode, in make your own scenarios, and immediately host sessions without the need for dedicated server on the side. And the usual dogfight, you can access the normal dynamic wars servers and all that. They are just named dogfight. But we are here to start Korea. And we're going to start right at the beginning and try to survive throughout the entire war. So we'll go for Battle of Moscow. And we're gonna fly for the Soviet Union. Okay, we have the entire Army Group Center front. So we have the Vyazma pocket there. We have the airfields here with the units and as well. I was flying for the 495th yesterday. If I remember correctly. There are some that we can't select. There we can. Okay. There's an attack here in this area. You see Moscow is there. In front. Front. Okay. Okay, filter phases and units. Okay, we have everything, and we're gonna choose. We're going for the Typhoon phase. You see, we have Typhoon, City under Siege, the Last Assault, the Counteroffensive, and the Road to Rzhev. Gonna start the 3rd of October, the very beginning, and see which unit we want. I wanted to play I don't know what will change in the war, but I want to fly not really fighter, as in air superiority, but interceptor. We intercept bombers, ground attackers, and all that. So, I mean, the 495th in Rzhev would be a good option. We have the 34th Air Defense Regiment also in Rzhev. Shows you the planes, the 27th Fighter Air Regiment, Air Defense Fighter Air Regiment, and the 26th in Khimki with the P-40s. Going to fly again in the 495th. Alright, now this is where we choose the name. We can change the name, biography. If I want to command my unit, I will choose by appointment. I must win it. Iron Man. You won't be able to restart the mission. So Iron Man is dead. So if you get captured, all that, there's no point. You can't. It's over. Your pilot is dead. The portraits are scary, but I will show you. Okay, birth date 22nd of July. Nah. Let's say he was born in the 5th of October, son of Red October. 1917, and first name Lukian Belov. Nah, don't like Belov. Would be nicer random, but let's say it's called. I wonder if it changes the name there. Let's try it. It does. It's nice, huh? Boris. Yeah, Belov is okay. Okay, now we would choose a background. I know some of these were written by community guys from the forums and all that, so it's really nice. Okay, the Far East Aeroflot pilot. I was born the third son of a Pacific Fleet officer stationed in Vladivostok. Belov was of significantly smaller stature than his brothers, but I should... Boris attempt to continue scholastic burn to perform his tasks at the Aeroflot. Nah. The musician, the farmer, travel from the Volga. Didn't exactly take to his parents. How could you explain it? A son born into a family of 5 children whose parents were renowned teachers suddenly put all his good education behind to fly one of those dangerous aeroplanes aground. Sounds good. Could tolerate the antics, and we could. I think I chose the musician yesterday. Yeah, it fits kind of a guy that gets drafted and shows some promise in flying airplanes. Boris Belov was born in a small town in the foothills of the Caucasus in the 5th of October of 1917. An only child, Boris was the son of a pianist who, before the Russian Revolution of 1917, had close contact with Russian musical greats like Sergei Rachmaninoff. Because of this, Boris didn't show an interest in aviation as a child. Instead, his free time was spent sharpening his musical skills, which was encouraged greatly by his father, who had risen from his position as a musical instructor to a posting in the Soviet Ministry of Culture. Boris, after completing his secondary schooling, was able to secure a spot at the Moscow Conservatory, where he planned to follow his father's footsteps and become an accomplished musician. However, a fervent passion for aviation was sweeping over the youth of the USSR at this time, and the government harnessed this passion by setting up countless aeroclubs across the country. Belov, though he had invested much time and energy to studying music, had no regrets leaving the conservatory and entering pilot training. Boris breezed through pilot training in Saratov, but instead of being assigned to a military unit, he was sent to the Moscow School of Pilot Instructors. Despair soon set in for Boris, as he saw his piloting future at the time as being nothing more than a civilian pilot instructor at one of the numerous aeroclubs springing up across the country. He wanted to fly in real warplanes, instead of being stuck crawling across the skies in U-2s. Little Belov realized his wish would come true while on leave from his instructor duties on June of 1941. With the German invasion now underway, Boris imagined it imagined it would only be a short time before he would be mobilized and sent to the frontline aviation unit. However, the regional military commissar was initially unmoved by eager requests to be mobilized. You know you are a reservist. They can manage without you at the front. If they need you, we will send for you. Boris, however, would not accept his response. After a week of incessant badgering, the commissar finally gave in and cut him his military activation orders. Before he could go to the front, however, Belov had one last bit of unfinished business to complete, letting his civilian aeroclub supervisor know he had been officially mobilized. The aeroclub chief was not pleased in the least to hear this latest bit of news from Belov, as many of his best instructors had already been mobilized by this time. As Belov turned and sped out the door, he could hear his now former boss shout out to him in a fit of rage, "Deserter!" Never mind that insult. Belov could never be discouraged now from his goal of becoming a full-fledged frontline military pilot. After what seemed like endless months of military training, Belov's wish was fulfilled. He was being sent to the 495th IAP PVO as a junior lieutenant in the 3rd October 1941, 2 days from anniversary. Okay. Now the portraits. This is a combination of faces, ears, eyes, and mouths, and clothes, and all that, so we can randomize till we choose someone that has a resemblance to a Boris Belov, like mustache. Yeah, the forehead is too big. One was nice, but I clicked too fast. So 1917, 41, still young. Boris Belov, good picture. I like the other mustache more. Damn it, I want the other mustache. This one is funny. Aha! Oh man, the hair is her. I want this mustache. I like the face, but the hair was not okay. I'm picky about this stuff. Oh, okay. Boris Belov. That mustache was kind of nice. No. Ah, it's good. Okay. Musician Boris Belov, and perfect. Looks very tidy, huh? All right, we have our pilot, and we can start our career. Alright, Typhoon, welcome to the 495th YAP PVO Junior Lieutenant. Since this is your first day here, take some time to study the personnel roster and familiarize yourself with how things work around here. When you're ready to get started, click on the next day to continue. So we just arrived, we have our pilot card, we are a Junior Lieutenant, as you see with the badges there. This is the calendar. Here we have the unit, headquarters, planning room, headquarters, and wall news. I mean, what's the difference between headquarters and unit HQ? And here we have the entire map. Gotcha. This is the unit's headquarters. Nice. Look at the flag. Have to discover what says in the banner. Okay, the regiment was formed in July 31st, 1941 as the 177th A-YAP as part of the 6th YAK PVO of the Moscow Air Defense Zone, based on the 34th and the 177th YAP according to the official orders 015134 with a fleet of I-16s. In September 6 pilots with I-16s were transferred to the 433rd. On September 27th, 41, the 177A was redesignated as the 495th as part of the 6th Army. The regiment participated in combat missions, providing cover for the city and military facilities in Moscow. The 495th was also involved in covering the ground troops and staging ground attacks to assist the Army Command. In October, the 1st Squadron of the regiment was converted to MiG-3 fighters, and yada 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 until the end of the war. Okay, status. Commander is Fedor Gordeev, it says here. Our airfield is at the Rezhev, showing the map. Our Soviet Union. This is all the personnel from our squadron. So 12 pilots. Okay. We have Fedor Gordeev, we have Alexei Nikitin, and okay, statistics. Well, we have not yet started, so we have nothing, but you can see that there's already planes shot down because the war has started in June and we are already in October. So we have two aces on the squadron, which is Nikitin and Belayev. This is vehicles, railroads, artillery, buildings, and vehicles. This is status. This commander, deputy commander. How many hours flight? Nikitin and Gordeev, both above 150 hours. Well done. This is successful sorties. The most veteran is Gordeev. Okay, it's the commander. Followed by and total sorties. We have Nikitin with 78. Probably was transferred from other squadron. We have 10 I-16s, and if you see, we have 12 pilots, right? We have 2 commanders and 10, and we have only 10 airplanes. It means 2 of the pilots, 2 of the personnel must always stay on the ground. We have planning room, world news. Right, issue of 2nd October 1941. In this issue, page 2, about the Mosin rifle. In Chkalov steppes, saboteurs are caught. I don't think we can read the entire newspaper. It's just the front page. German blitzkrieg continues, moves to take Moscow. Okay, Soviet VVS versus German Luftwaffe. When Germany invaded the Soviet, this is nice because it might give some historical insight to the situation. Top Soviet aces in the sky. Our squadron is not here because we have only 5. No, German planes raid northern England with 50 killed. U-boats sink British tanker off coast of Ireland. Germans launch Operation Typhoon, Moscow, Soviet Union. Today the German army launched a massive land and air operation to capture the city of Moscow and hasten the fall of the Soviet Union. German troops under the command of Field Marshal von Bock attacked along the entire breadth of Moscow region from Vyazma in the north to Bryansk in the south. German 3rd and 4th Panzer Armies attacked, yada yada yada. And the weather is getting colder by the day, and reports are claiming the mobility of mechanized units is being hampered by muddy roads and soggy countryside. Captured German soldiers report a lack of proper cold weather uniforms and supplies. Soviet forces are better equipped to handle the cold and are fighting on familiar territory. Right. Soviet VVS versus German Luftwaffe. When Germany invaded the Soviet Union on June 22nd, the Luftwaffe caught much of the Red Air Force on the ground and wrought terrible havoc. Planning room. Let's see what's here. Before we press to the next day, you first stay at the front. Okay, let's press next day. A new day begins. All right, we just made our pilot. We arrived at the unit airfield. We got to know everyone around, and read the newspaper. And let's press to the next day. All right, date 4th October 1941. We are at not the Null airfield. We are at Rzhev. Your weather temperature 8 degrees centigrade. Well, winds from the east at 5 meters per second, which is roughly what, 18 kilometers per hour, 16, something like that. Okay. Pending missions. We have 2 missions today, which is escort ground attack planes, but I am not assigned to it. My pilot is Boris Belov. Okay, for the morning mission, for the morning sortie at 7:45, we have Kuzmin, Savelyev, and Tarasov, all in I-16s. And for the afternoon, 15:25 takeoff, we have also 3 I-16s. If we see, Bogdan Zakharov has been awarded the Medal for Battle Merit, Early War. See, okay. I have nothing new on the pilot thingy. Headquarters is the map. Can I see the missions planned? Yeah, I can. Okay, so this is like the map we would have in the briefing room. Okay, this is our airfield there. See, 2 runways, and there's two squadrons operating from here, the 34th and the 495th, which is the one I'm assigned to. And okay, there's 2 missions. Ours is this one, the tick 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 thing. Can click, and we already have our briefing waypoints and all that. These are the guys from the morning. Yeah, to escort ground attack planes. It's theirs. So what's this option thing? House. I have custom. Rear speed realistic. Okay, mission start. Runway. Density of the front line activity is dense. Gotcha. Okay, world news for today. It's the same thing as yesterday. Seems like it. I didn't see that if any changes happened here. The Soviet. Aha. So we can set up our plane for our mission. And good. I think we can change it after. You see how much? It's 55 kilometers, so it's 110 kilometers plus the time I'll be around there, so let's say I can't use custom skins, so I will have to use proper. It's autumn already. 42 Leningrad front. I'll use the Safanov because I really like it. Lieutenant Boris Safanov, Northern Fleet Air Force, Vaenga, summer 1941, white 11, standard green. There's the white motto for Stalin at port and death to Nazis at starboard. Perfect. So, I'll take 70% fuel. I mean, I have to support the ground attack troops, which might mean I am interdicting against any attackers that the Germans send. Not sure if I want to take the Schwags. It's on the wings and they put this massive mass. And the plane has this fast snap tendency if you push her too much. But I reckon we can go with this. Okay, the first mission is in progress, which is the one in the morning. I wasn't assigned to it. And it was accomplished in 20 minutes, and pretty much nothing happened. They didn't. Oh. All right. I mean, they just did their thing, and I reckon it will be our time now. Choose to, let me see again. Right, we'll have to fly from Rozhev over Zubtsov towards Karmanovo on this and support our ground troops there. Okay, they are holding the town and probably going to be Stukas or fighter bombers attacking them, and we have to give them cover. At least that's what I understand from this ground troops cover. So we're gonna get ready for this. So let me just grab a good cup of coffee and we'll scramble. See you in 2 minutes.